Hi, boys and girls. It's Monday again. Did you have a nice weekend? I bet I know one of our friends that didn't have a good weekend. I bet he didn't sleep a wink. Can you think who that is? I bet you can. I think it's Blinker is probably miserable right now. So let's see. Chapter 24, The Sewer. Silversides and Graybar moved silently through the streets of Amperville. Only when they came to the niche by the old sewer where Graybar made his living quarters did they stop. Fish bones, chicken bones, and assorted fast food wrappers were scattered about. A half-eaten pizza slice lay curled up in one corner. Not far off was a bit of hot dog. Okay, Silverside said, let's go over what Blinker told me. Sure thing, Graybar said, his tail twitching with impatience. Tonight, at about 10:30, it's 11 now, the opening of this Cafe Independence took place. The whole of Mousetown should be there. Graybar grinned. There's a dance, Silversides continued. The Mouse Mayor gives a speech. The B-flat tires perform. The what? Graybar asked. It's a band, Clutch's band, and Ragweed is going to sing too. That stuff doesn't matter, Graybar said. Go over their security. There will be guards at both doors, front and back, Silverside said. There will also be lookouts posted at the upstairs windows. Any bolt holes? Graybar asked. You can go up some back steps to the second floor, then into the next building. That's dumb, Graybar said with a smile. In the basement, Silversides went on, is an old sewer connection. That's what interests us. There will be only one guard there. Graybar nodded. You got all this from that white mouse, right? Correct. And you believe him? Graybar asked. Yes. He wouldn't cross us, would he? Blinker? Not a chance. I've just about scared him to death. Besides, he thinks I'm going to spare his friends. Yeah, right, Graybar said. He gazed at the rotting food. Want anything to eat before we go? He asked. It's going to be a long night. We'll be eating when we get there, Silversides reminded him. Graybar laughed. Silversides, I like your style. Let's just go, the white cat said sourly. Sure thing, Graybar returned. This way, look out for the slime. The two cats headed into the sewer. Built of brick, the old sewer had a round, vaulted ceiling. In many places, the brick and lime mortar had crumbled and fallen into the old sluiceway. The sluiceway was clogged with refuse, and the sluiceway is the part at the bottom where the water runs to keep the drain clear. Such light as there was came only where grates opened to the street above. On a level slightly higher than the sluiceway was a fairly uncluttered ledge. It was along this ledge that the two cats moved. Graybar limped along in the lead. Silversides, her white coat quickly streaked with muck, followed. The cats walked in silence. Now and again, when something unusual turned up on the ledge, the limb of a doll, a grinning Pez head, a sneaker tongue, the cats paused, sniffed it, then moved on. Silversides was excited, but suppressed her feelings. She had the sense that she was approaching the culmination of a long journey. And that means that she felt like something she'd been wanting to do for a long time was about to come to an end. If Blinker had spoken true, and she had no doubt the terrified mouse had, she was about to trap most of the Amperville mice in one place. If she and Graybar did their task properly, methodically, and efficiently, they would be able to break the back of Amperville's rodent problem. She reminded herself that she must make it her personal business to deal with this outsider, the one named Ragweed. She would seek him out first. Then she would deal with the green-headed one, Clutch. When all was done, she would return home and rid the world of Blinker. After the carnage was over, that means the feast, she would seek out a comfortable rest home for cats and live with her golden years amid tranquility and calm. First among felines, she would accept accolades with dignified pride. Her life would be mellow and complete. And we've got another word to clarify, accolades. That means verbal praises. They would tell her how wonderful she was. Hold it. The cats had reached a place where sewer tunnels converged. It was a large circular area with a ceiling higher and a basin deeper than normal. Other tunnels led off in different directions. In the middle of the ceiling was a star-shaped grate through which light came. Let's see, Graybar said, we're at Star Square. It's where the city sewers come together. That pipe comes from Aduro Street. That one comes from Providence Place. Over there is Washington Avenue. There's East Lane. What we want is Vale Way. Hang on, we're almost there. The cats proceeded more slowly. Graybar set the pace. The sewer tunnel he took was smaller, narrower, older, and even dimmer than the one they had been in before. More bricks were dislodged. Now and again, they had to squeeze forward. Lots of good stuff around here, Graybar murmured. If you want to take the time to look. Silverside shuddered. As they went along, she began to catch herself up in thoughts again. How, she asked herself, had she ever come to such a pass? Picking her way through such a horrid place with such a low-life cat, with the intent of wreaking havoc on disgusting mice? Could she have done something better with her life? For a moment, the white cat felt sorrowful. With this, all she had to achieve, to be so full of anger and hate that she could think of nothing else but destroying mice? What would she do? She suddenly asked herself, when there were no mice left to hate. I think we've reached the right street, Graybar announced. Silversides looked up and around. Here, along the curved walls, rusty pipes jutted into the main sewer at various intervals. One of these pipes should lead into the bookstore, Graybar said. We just have to find the right one. Listen, Silversides cried. They lifted their heads. Faintly but distinctly came the sound of music with a heavy beat. With it came a thin chorus of squeaking. What's that? Graybar asked. Mice, Silverside hissed. Just to be close rekindled her anger and rage. It's their new club. It's going to be their old club soon, Graybar scoffed. Which pipe leads into the store? Silversides wondered out loud. She listened intently. The music is coming from this pipe, she said, and hauled herself into it, proceeding to wiggle forward. It proved to be the narrowest pipe she had been in that evening. Still, it was clear of any obstruction, and she was able to move forward with relative ease. As she proceeded, the music grew louder. The end of the pipe loomed before her. The music was quite loud. There was singing, too, plus a great deal of muffled tapping, which puzzled her at first. Then she grasped what it was. Dancing, she muttered under her breath. How perfectly disgusting. She inched forward. The smell of mouse was so offensive, she was nauseated. But the strength of the odor was evident of great numbers of mice. Approaching the end of the pipe, Silverside slithered forward and took a quick peek out. The pipe led into a small, cluttered basement. Off to one side, Silverside caught sight of some steps, easy entry to the floor above, where the mice were assembled. The question was someone guarding the stairs? She took another peek. That time she caught sight of a mouse on the steps. He was sitting there, eyes closed, a dreamy look on his face, nodding his head to the beat of the music. Withdrawing, Silverside backed out of the pipe. Any luck? Graybar asked. We've got them, Silverside replied with barely contained glee. There's just one mouse on guard, and he's asleep. Okay, are they going to wreck another club? Are they going to get to eat as many mice as they want to? Is something going to go wrong with their plan? Make those predictions. Use your information that you have to make an educated guess as to what is going to happen. Chapter 25, The Show at Cafe Independent. The Cafe Independent opening night party was at full force. The B-flat tires had completed their first set. Now, atop the platform, they were into their second. The whole room rocked with their sound. If anything, the band played better than during their first. Opening night jitters were gone. They were playing together smoothly, listening to the grooves and beats, talking to one another, as it were, with their music. Sometimes Lugnut soloed. Sometimes it was Dipstick. Then it was Clutch. The music pulsed. The music soared. The music sang. The music danced. The mice were enjoying themselves immensely. The floor was a rippling sea of bouncing, jumping, turning, wriggling, jiggling mice. Some had paws in the air. Others kept their eyes closed and moved as though in a trance. Tails waved low, tails waved high. Some mice danced alone. Others danced in twos, threes, and even fours, paws touching, slapping, waving. Not everyone was dancing. Some were on the side, talking, telling jokes, listening, watching. Crumbs were eaten, nectar and water drunk. A few even slept. Windshield was still at work on his mural, muttering under his breath, sending splotches of paint hither and thither to his own immense satisfaction, as well as the interest and amusement of those who took the time to watch. Foglight had found a quiet corner where she worked on yet another poem. As for Ragweed, after his singing debut, which was very well received, he stood on the fringes of the crowd, watching. From time to time, he made his way to the security guards. "How's it going?" he asked. "Way cool," he heard from now one, now another of the guards, like no problems. He examined the bolt hole upstairs and felt good about that. He also checked the basement. Eyes closed, toes tapping, Bumper was sitting on the top step, dreamily listening to the music. "Hey, dude, keep your eyes open," Ragweed warned with some severity. "I will," returned the mouse. For a few moments after Ragweed had admonished him, Bumper did scrutinize the basement. All too quickly, however, he shifted his attention back to the music. Now and again he gave in to the temptation to close his eyes. Ragweed, meanwhile, returned to the club upstairs and for a while remained alone, off by a wall, watching the band perform. In particular, he kept his eyes on Clutch. She was playing hard, head bobbing up and down, her face intense as her paws moved like summer lightning over the strings of her guitar, her lean, tall form vibrant with intensity. Her fierceness fascinated Ragweed. At the same time, he wasn't sure he knew her very well at all. What he did know, however, is that he would like to know her better. Was that possible, he wondered, wishing he knew how she felt about him and about Blinker. Maybe, he mused, Amperville was not such a bad place after all. Maybe he should stay. Yeah, he liked the Amperville scene. It took a moment for him to realize that Clutch was now looking right at him. She winked. He grinned back. Then she beckoned him toward her. Ragweed made his way through the teeming crowd to the band. "What's up?" he called to her. "Like, how about doing another number?" she shouted down to him. "Sure," he replied, and hoisted himself up onto the book. He stepped forward, listening to the music, letting it seep into his head. He looked at Clutch. She looked back. He had no doubt then how fond of her he was, recalling the song of the train whistle on his ride to Amperville. He began to sing, using his long, low, mournful whistle sound. "Been traveling long, been traveling far, beginning to wonder just where I are. Haven't gone to the moon, haven't gone to the star. Wondering, well, I'm out on the calendar. 'Cause the world can be mean or the world can be nice. It all depends on where you've been. All I know from all I've seen, if I put my hopes on the reckoning, rolling meddling mice. It was at that moment that Blinker burst through the front entry of the Cafe Independent. Disheveled, dirty, and exhausted, it was all he could do to stagger forward, open his mouth, and cry out, "Clutch! Silversides is coming! Save yourselves!" Then he collapsed upon the floor. The music stopped. The dancing ceased. Those nearest the prostrate Blinker backed away. Clutch was the first to take action. She rushed over to the white mouse, knelt down, and gathered him up in her paws. "What? Blinker? What did you say?" Blinker opened his eyes. I've betrayed you. It's Graybar and Silversides. They're coming to attack through the sewer system. Make sure you get away. I didn't know what to do. Please forgive me. I love you, Clutch." With those words, the white mouse fainted away. Slowly, Clutch lowered Blinker to the ground. Then she stood up on her hind legs and looked around. "The cats are coming to attack us through the sewer system," she said in a terrible calmness. "All you dudes, be easy," she called out. "No panic, like we've got plenty of time to escape. Head up the stairs to the bolt hole. Youngsters first." Then she bent down over Blinker again and nuzzled him. The mice in the room fell utterly silent. Ragweed stared at Clutch and Blinker. He did not know what to do. He felt like crying. He felt like screaming. But as he watched the milling mice begin to move upstairs, he felt a surge of desperate energy. What did he care now if he lived or died? He jumped onto the platform. "No, wait," he cried out to the mice. "You mustn't go. Like, you are going to run away all your lives? Check it out, dudes. Are you going to give in to FEAR again? Are you always going to think life means being on the defensive? Know what I'm saying, dudes? There are a lot of us. We outnumber them. We can stop them. Like, this is our time. Those who are ready and willing to fight, stay behind and follow me." With that, Ragweed leaped down and rushed for the back hallway. He did not look back to see if anyone was following. In truth, he did not care. Wow, that's kind of sad. I think I'm going to cry. Ragweed could be in a lot of trouble here real soon, but he doesn't care because his feelings are hurt because he's in love with Clutch, and Clutch is in love with Blinker. Oh my, I'm not sure what we're going to do, but you know what? We're going to find out tomorrow because we have 2 chapters left in the book, and I don't know what to think, guys. We'll see. Bye.